In early 2025, my family and I were given the opportunity to go on a weekend trip to Sapelo Island. In this video, I'm going to show you some of the highlights of the tour and some of the things that we saw and I think that you should check out. I have been to Sapelo Island once before on the the commercial tour that you can visit the visitor center there in Darien, Georgia, and you can purchase a trip over on the ferry, and then you get a bus tour that takes you around and shows you some of the highlights of the island. But I'd always wondered what it would be like to go over and actually stay there, um, spend a little more time than just the quick visit. So we were given the opportunity when we took them up on it. Here you're going to see some of the things that you wouldn't see on the bus tour. This is a trip to Chocolat, or the chocolate plantation that's on the north end of the island. Most of the homes, or the structures that are built on the island, are on the kind of the southeast end, an area called Hog Hammock. But this is built on the kind of northwestern part, and there's actually a house there and a barn and some structures that used to exist. There were probably some like slave quarters, or some basically original structures to the development of the island. Um, the southern part of the island actually has electricity running to it, but these buildings out here actually ran off a generator or some sort of other power source. Um, it was really cool to be able to just go to these things. I mean, this is, history. You'll see these tabby structures that are built here. This old classic barn that's over there that we were able to kind of just look at and visit and see on our own. Of course, we were respectful and we didn't damage anything or touch anything or see anything that we weren't supposed to do. But it was just beautiful to see this wonderful, classic, breathtaking view that's on the backside of the island. This, largely intact tabby structure that we could kind of visit and take a look at. It was really cool to be able to show my children something like this and let them see something that they're not going to see otherwise. This isn't on the standard tour. It's the kind of thing that maybe it's there, it's in a place that you visit, but they keep the tourists out of it. So we were lucky and thankful to be able to kind of have this uh, unobstructed access to be able to come and check these things out. Mindful, we're being respectful. We weren't trying to damage anything or touch anything. Like leave only footprints, right? So we were. It was cool to be able to have this historic visit and be able to check things out that we would never get to see otherwise. You can see that this structure is not in the best of shape, but it's still it's interesting to be able to take a look at it and see how some of these classic vintage construction techniques may have been. Um, the kids did get a chance to go and take a look at it, under our supervision, of course. So it was really cool to be able to show them something like this. Here we have some more of the aerial views of some of the original structures that were there. That you can see how it's actually kind of amazing how the tabby can last over a couple hundred years, um, and still be standing. Right? Imagine all the hurricanes and storms and weather. This building, I guess, if it had a roof, it might still be good. Here's a little more footage of the inside of the other classic building. Again, back here on the western side, or the back side of the island, kind of facing the mainland, you can see some of the kind of the beautiful beach and the oyster beds that would be back there. The Gullah Geechee people here, which were historically slaves, freed slaves, now like the indigenous people of the island, uh, have long subsisted on these oysters and the oyster beds and the fishing that comes from this place. Here's the kind of the signage that talks about the chocolate plantation. We A surprise to us, Sapelo Island does actually have a restaurant, a place called the Yacht Club Bar, and like a little restaurant here that you can. We had some nice shrimp, and I think maybe even some crab. There's a little gift shop here that's got T-shirts and books and other essentials and supplies that you might need when you're over there. Fishing gear. So there's a lot of rentals over here on this island. There's a lot of places that you can go over and rent for a weekend or a week. Big homes, kind of new modern homes that you and your family can go and check out. And I would highly recommend that you take a look at those. Some other beautiful like crafts and handy items that are nice things. There's a library over there. There's a public playground. I believe there's a church. So a lot of really cool stuff that uh, makes this place unique. There goes like the church bus, whatever handful of vehicles are over there. Um, yeah, Spirit of Sapelo tours. This is the actual like uh, tour bus. There's a little country store that's open sometimes, and you can go in there and buy like a soft drink or some other stuff. This is near where we were staying, so this is in the Hog Hammock area. This is the eastern view from Hog Hammock at dawn, as you can see that I wrote there. Somebody that's like an amateur drone pilot like myself, these were some beautiful views that I just can't believe that I was able to just capture so easily. It's Sapelo Island and all of its nature and all of its beauty. It's a tremendous subject. So you'll see here there's a handful of like modern stick-built homes that are down here on this end of the island. Like I was saying earlier, these houses have electricity, they have utilities. I believe they even have like high-speed internet access. If you're over there, it's actually amazing how much of the luxuries of like modern society that you can have over there in a place that is isolated. I mean, there's just a handful of homes. There's some structures for the University of Georgia. There's like a couple of government buildings, but for the most part, this place is left untouched, and it's beautiful. It's very unique. I hope that everybody gets a chance to take a look at it sometime and visit. More of the eastern views. The camera's kind of turning towards the south end of the island right here. South of there, you're going to see St. Simons and some other barrier islands along the coast of Georgia. These are some of the other homes, and there's a lot of pre-constructed homes, mobile homes, trailers on there. The newer homes are largely going to be like the stick-built, modern, even kind of like luxury construction. it wasn't a summer day, but it was a beautiful day. The whole day, the Saturday probably that we spent on Sapelo Island. Here's the southern point of the island. This is facing towards the mainland west. Over there, you can see that there's a boat, like a pleasure craft, kind of cruising through the channel here. This was beautiful. This is one of the nicest beaches I've ever been to, and it feels wrong. Like, it feels, you'll never feel as rich as when you get to be on a big, beautiful, private island beach like this with nobody else around, and just you and your friends, sharing this moment with your children or your wife or your friends. It's unbelievable to be able to have access to something like this. Even when Sapelo Island's busy, you can probably find a pretty large chunk of beach by yourself where nobody else is going to be at. The bus tour does come here and it lets people get off the bus and take a look at it, but they don't bring chairs and coolers and whatever else and plan to sit for the day. They get 10 or 15 minutes to snap a couple pictures and then get back on the bus. So it was really cool. You can see there's actually some storm damage that's happened to some of these bridges here up there on the left, and then I take some more footage of it right there. They have some hurricane damage. You see there's some heavy equipment there that's there to work on some of this stuff. This was early 2025, so I assume that some of these things may have been repaired by now, but it's still beautiful even if some of the access is damaged. So a great beach day, even though we were only there for a couple of hours. Really cool. Actually a little bit of new construction that's taking place here in the hog hammock area. I saw at least one house that was under construction, and there are a couple of lots that were for sale at the time. It's been a kind of a big thing, a big issue with the original inhabitants, the Gullah Geechee people that remain on the island, is that this is a beautiful place and people want it, and being on an island, being on a valuable piece of property like this comes with unfortunate consequences like taxes, right? So there's a lot of interest in people trying to develop more beautiful, modern, expensive, brand new homes over here, and unfortunately it kind of makes it an issue where the people stand a chance of losing their home or losing their foothold on this island due to taxes, basically. It's really unfortunate. just get in their car and drive to their house. So it was really cool to be able to visit and see all this stuff, how unique it is. The wildlife was wonderful, the animals, the nature that we were able to like recognize and respect, and